Welcome to the Cuse Militia Podcast with those two unapologetically biased, orange-blooded homers, Sean and Joe.
What's up, Cuse Nation? Thanks for tuning in to the Cuse Militia Podcast with Sean and Joe. If you like it, please share it. The universal handle for the socials is @Cuse Militia. Go there, join the militia. We are the only Syracuse sports podcast centered around giving you, the fans, a voice. So welcome. Happy Tuesday. We are here to talk
We made it another day.
We made it another day. Oh, yeah, that's right. This is 3 days in a row for us podcasting, which has never been done. We're making history during Corona.
I wouldn't say history.
This is history.
For our show.
Tomorrow, this will be history. In an hour, this will be history.
No, I was more or less talking about, the
what?
We survived the COVID, bro.
Oh, one more day. Yes, we did. We definitely did. So, we've got a couple things. We're gonna go ahead. There's a little tiny bit of interesting things to discuss, and also we're gonna go over the winners from the bracket, and maybe some new ideas. Maybe there's some new ideas out there brewing. Who knows? Who knows? Right?
Well, I know. Yeah, there's a lot of people. It's funny too because since we have done 2 in a row and everything like that, getting some comments. I'm getting some texts from some people asking about being on the show, text from Joe talking about if you're going to do this every day, then I want to be on this and that. I got a text from Mike talking about if you need a medical expert on to talk about,
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, it's been fun with them.
Mike, if not now, when 84.
Yes.
On Twitter.
Yes, so it's just this whole thing, and he works in the medical field. So
yeah, Duke, right?
Yeah, so I think he can have. I think maybe he went to school there. It's one of the two, but
something like that.
Yeah, so it's just weird, man. I mean, I had to get my temperature taken and had to answer questions and take a questionnaire in my car before I could even enter the building today at my work.
Yeah, that's crazy. My wife.
It took like an hour.
I'm essential. You're essential. Thank God I'm able to work still. My wife's a pharmacist. She's got a card they carry with her that scared me a little bit. Said something along the lines of it was for her to give to law enforcement if she happens to be pulled over on her way to work, saying
it's your proof for essential travel.
Yes. Which I was
essential
like,
badge.
Yes, and I was like, this is America. What's going on here? So, oh, it's nothing, guys. Don't worry about it. Just precautionary stuff, right? Well, let me tell you about something else to use if you want to be a little cautious. You know what I'm talking about, Joe.
Yeah, I think.
With home security, there are 2 ways you can go about protecting your home. There's the traditional way, where you wait weeks for a technician to do a messy installation that costs a small fortune. Or there's the other way, SimpliSafe. SimpliSafe is everything you need in a home security system. It's award-winning protection, 2-time winner of the CNET Editor's Choice Award. SimpliSafe blankets your whole home in safety. You get comprehensive protection for your entire home. Outdoor cameras and doorbells alert you when anyone's approaching the home. Entry, motion, and glass break sensors guard the inside. You barely notice it's even there, but what's the best about SimpliSafe is that you can install the system all by yourself. It only takes about 30 minutes to an hour tops, and there's absolutely no trade-offs for your safety. You'll have a army of highly trained security experts ready to dispatch police to your home at a moment's notice, 24/7, and it's only 50 cents a day. No contracts. You can't beat it. That's why The Verge is calling SimpliSafe the best home security system. So go to simplisafe.com/team today, and you'll get free shipping and a 60-day free trial. You've got nothing to lose. Go now and be sure to go to simplisafe.com. That's SIMPLI safe.com/team. That's simplisafe.com/team. Thank you, SimpliSafe. All right. So, anything else on the Corona front?
No.
Nothing else on the Corona front?
All good. I think we're good.
I never did, and maybe I will this week, get into my story. Joe, I don't think I even told you. I got assaulted at my son's basketball game and kicked out. Did I ever tell you that? A couple weeks ago?
Was this recent?
A couple weeks ago, yeah. Yeah.
No, you probably haven't told me because you felt bad about it since then. So, but either way,
it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I'll tell that story. It's a fantastic story.
Okay.
It's not actually fantastic, but it's a crazy story. Anyway,
All right.
when
Save
things
for
get
another
slow.
day.
Well, yeah, when things get slow. But as if things weren't slow enough because we're making movie
Right.
brackets and whatnot. So here's the
Yeah.
deal. We are thinking, look, I've had DMs. I haven't had any emails on it, but I've had DMs. I've had people comment, keep them coming. We enjoy them. Maybe that's a slim margin of people. Whatever. You got people stuck in their homes. Some people are not essential. Some people are out of work. They got nothing to do. That's why we're doing the show every day. We're not doing it. We're doing it because we love it, obviously. And we have, I'm getting home from work a little earlier. And it is easier to put a show together full of just a movie bracket and basic news than it is, a game. Plus, we're waiting for games to obviously do the show. But we're just trying to have some fun during the downtime, get some episodes in and, get the socials rolling. There's not a whole lot going on. For me, I need something to post on social media. I don't like just posting to post. And you know what I'm saying, Joe? Like I don't like just doing it just to do it. So this is a good way to keep us active.
Well, and since we have a sports podcast and there's no sports going on, we had to figure out something, right?
Right. So the next idea is a battle of the bands bracket, but here's what's going to be different with this one, and we learned from the first one. So what's going to be different is we'll do 4 regions, 4 genres: R&B and hip hop. You got country, you've got hard rock, alternative, and then probably a pop genre. But you guys are going to pick the bands. Joe and I are going to seed them, though, unfortunately, because there's no other way around that. So we're thinking about doing that. So anyway, that's next.
No,
Right.
Does it got to be a band or can it be an individual person?
It can be an individual person. It can be like Neil Diamond, whatever.
Who's going to pick him?
I know. I'm just saying. Neil Diamond's all right, bro.
All right.
Come on. We did learn something from the movie bracket, though, and that is that the classic stuff just isn't working. So.
Classic / older, yeah.
Yeah. Must be the demographic. I don't know. So anyway, we're going to do that. We're going to do that probably coming up after this bracket. We don't want to. Obviously, we got plenty of time on the movie bracket. So, Joe, the Joe B. Hall Award honors the country's best first-year coach. Went to Greg Paulus.
Yeah.
And so, I'm going to just throw this out there. You saw it and I saw it and from 2 different people on 2 different social media accounts.
Yeah.
Not just the Cuse Militia account, but predicting Greg Paulus. A friend of mine on Facebook said, "I'm gonna predict it now. Greg Paulus, Syracuse Orange, next head coach for basketball." Joe, what do you think about that?
I'm gonna hold.
Okay, that's good. You know what? We should.
That's a good one, right? So we can save that, right?
Yeah,
but
we should have saved that for James.
He's gonna have to figure it out, right? He's an assistant guy that obviously played under Coach K. Then he was an assistant under, I believe, Thad Matta at Ohio State for a little while, right? And then once he lost his job or retired or whatever had happened there, he left. So did Greg Paulus. And then John Beilein's son, Patrick Beilein, who happened to have been the head coach for Niagara this summer, asked Greg Paulus to come and be his assistant head coach. And unbeknownst to him, obviously, fast forward and, 2 weeks before the season, a few weeks before the season, Patrick Beilein has to leave for personal reasons. He steps down. Greg Paulus is the head coach. So you're talking about guys he didn't recruit. He wasn't there for too long, and he stepped right in. And I'll tell you, I followed it a little bit. When we played them, I thought that they stuck with us a little bit. They played a little bit harder than I thought, considering that they were the smallest team in the country. And I saw that they had beaten Colgate. They were 1 game away from being 500 when it came to their conference play, and they were chosen to finish 10th or something like that. So, but on the Syracuse.com article, some of these statistics that came up with, Niagara ranked 22nd in the country in turnover percentage on offense and was among the country's 25 best teams in turnover margin and 3-point margin. So, and they're only losing one senior. They're bringing a bunch of guys back. He did more with what he had this year as a head coach, and I think that's a lot of times how coaches have to be judged. I don't think that there's too many coaches that could have done that much better with what he was left with, especially with the way that the whole coaching change happened. So good for him, man. Kudos. I hope he keeps it going. See what happens and see who he can get in there as far as recruits. And yeah, you never know. We've seen plenty of coaches climb that ladder from spots from the MAC and stuff like that. And this is his first head coaching gig, and hopefully it's going to be good.
Yeah, I don't know if I see him as the next Syracuse head coach, so I figure something, they took
It's all about the trajectory, man.
Yeah, I know. It is. It's totally. And we're looking a couple years down the road, so, I mean, he's going to have a couple more years under his belt, too. So we will see. I would hold as well, but I'm not a weenie, so I'm going to sell.
No.
So, it's just how I feel, man. It's just how I
feel. That's cool.
All right. It would have been great if James happened to be on today for that. But James will be on Thursday.
Thursday. Okay.
Yeah, and we got Tyler coming on tomorrow. So as long as we do episodes Wednesday and Thursday, those guys will join us.
Yeah.
So James, by the way, lives in New York City, in case you didn't know, and he's been cooped up in his apartment. So
yeah, one of the worst spots. Yeah, so
I just picture him hurtled around his computer with the blanket, and not much else going on there with that. So he's working from home and everything. So we'll get him on. The other thing too is that we're going to do Friday. We're going to try to plan a call-in show. So those are your next 3 days worth of shows. Okay,
there you go. Hey, I saw some news today. Can I? And obviously this is because we're still waiting for.
Is your TV on?
No,
okay.
Absolutely not. Okay. My TV's not on. If you hear anything, my brother's doing dishes in the kitchen.
That's right.
Yeah. So, I have a beef with the way it just doesn't. Sometimes it seems like the transfers, like we don't get a lot of the putting in waivers and getting stuff. You know what I mean? Does it seem like we kind of get screwed over with stuff like that? I mean, I heard Babers talk about that too. This Chris Bleich guy we got coming in, this lineman, sophomore, started for Florida as an offensive lineman. I mean, he could change our offensive line for next year and completely solidify it. And, we have to put in a waivers to see because, he moved home for family reasons and because of how he was treated with some injuries down in Florida. And I read today on ESPN that there's a Florida State running back, Jashawn Corbin, granted eligibility waiver for 2020 season.
Okay.
So this is a guy that is from the state of Florida. He committed to Florida State when Jimbo Fisher was the coach. Then Jimbo Fisher left, went to Texas A&M, so he decommitted, and then he committed to Texas A&M, and now he wants to transfer back to Florida State and back to in-state. Doesn't really list the reasonings to why, but he was granted a waiver so that he doesn't have to sit out. And it's just one of those things where you see... Is there a possibility
that it's like maybe personal reasons that they keep, undisclosed? But
usually when that stuff happens, they usually will say it's for personal reasons or it's for this or it's for that. Sure. You know what I mean? Like
right.
They didn't mention anything. So I just hope that this is a good sign for hopefully maybe a positive.
Doesn't it always seem like we get the shaft on everything though? I mean, is it just me?
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is either.
I don't know if it's like the Central New Yorkers in us. You just wake up and snow again. Go figure.
Yeah, we just want to be. Yeah, and we just want to find something to gripe about, maybe. But and by the way, Syracuse hit with more snow. What, yesterday, day before, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's how it's like in Syracuse.
Yeah. So Syracuse.com went through and they listed for us the everybody's way too early ACC top 25s. What teams in the ACC will be ranked in the top 25? And nobody, and I mean nobody, went out on a limb on anything in this at all. They're virtually all the
Of course.
They're virtually all the same. ESPN, Duke 6, Virginia 8, North Carolina 11, Florida State 22. Who was this one? Oh, USA Today, Virginia 3, Duke 6, Florida State 9, North Carolina 18. Which, those two there don't have Louisville. I find that hard to believe, the way Louisville was going last year. I don't know who they got leaving, but NBC lists Louisville 16, North Carolina 15, Duke 12, Florida State 11, Virginia 5. I think that's more realistic, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Fansided got Virginia, Duke, Florida State, North Carolina, and 247 Sports got Virginia, Florida State, Duke, North Carolina. So some of them list them a little bit differently, but these are usually fun, but this is not fun at all. This is very...
Yep, pretty much. and I think those are based on a lot of people that they're kind of guessing who's going to stay, who's going to go, those kind of things, right? So,
one thing I never looked at or ever even talked about with you on or off the air was Duke's incoming class. That's one thing I didn't pay attention to at all because the abrupt end to the season.
Yeah, well, we have time to talk about them, but they're pretty impressive nonetheless.
Well, of course.
So, but yeah, no, it's there hasn't really been too much. People are going to have their own thoughts on who's going to stay, who's going to go, and their own thoughts on the incoming recruiting classes. That's all you can really base that stuff on. So, that's why it says way too early. You can't take any of that with face value. And for any other news as far as transfers or people declaring for the draft or anything, there was up to this point today no new news or anything breaking or substantial to
report on.
Report on. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're trying to we're clawing for something, folks. We're clawing for something, but that's why we've got the movie bracket, and we're gonna get in to Cuse Militia Movie Madness here in a second. But first, let me tell you about LinkedIn. LinkedIn, the perfect hire, can have an impact on your business for years to come. So when you need to find that next person to help you grow your business, LinkedIn Jobs will match the right talent with your open role fast. LinkedIn has over 675 million members worldwide. LinkedIn Jobs screens candidates with the hard and soft skills you're looking for so you can hire the right person fast. Things like collaboration, creativity, adaptability. LinkedIn looks beyond the work skills and puts your job post in front of qualified candidates who match your business requirements perfectly. That's how LinkedIn makes sure your job post is seen by the people you want to hire, people with skills, qualifications, and other interests that will help your business grow. It's no wonder a person is hired every 8 seconds with LinkedIn. That's an amazing stat right there. And why companies rated LinkedIn Jobs the #1 hiring platform delivering quality hires. Right now, you can find the person for your business today with LinkedIn Jobs. You can pay what you want and get the first $50 off. Just visit linkedin.com/team. Again, that's linkedin.com/team. Get the $50 off your first job post. Terms and conditions apply, of course. Obviously, folks. Okay, so, Joe's on mute. Joe's on mute. There he is. Were you coughing? You got the corona?
Yes.
What the hell are you doing?
No, I don't have the corona.
Okay. All right. So, did we get through everything else? Yes. All right. So let's do this. I'm going to pull this up real quick here. And we're going to go through our picks from the sports region show. All right. Remember the Titans 1 seed against the 16 seed Mighty Ducks, Joe? I know who you had. You had to remember the Titans, right?
Yeah.
I had Mighty Ducks.
Unbelievable.
Because here's why. Let me just explain something.
Because you're a quack.
Let me explain something to you that I will get raked over the coals for. But I'm getting used to being raked over the coals, so it's whatever to me. I have never seen Remember the Titans. So there's another.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. We did this movie bracket, and after talking to you yesterday, it's crazy how many movies you actually haven't seen that are in this bracket.
It's crazy how many. I know. I realized this when I started putting this together.
I mean, Remember the Titans, that's a movie. That's a Disney movie. You sit down and you watch that with your kids all day long. No reason.
Well,
Your kids would love that. Dylan would love that movie.
Really? I have Disney Plus. It's probably on there.
Yeah, it's guaranteed. It's on there.
Okay.
Denzel movie, dude.
Okay,
great.
Yes, I knew it was Denzel Washington. I did know that. So, here's the thing. I will probably watch this before this week of episodes is up. So, let's just hold me to it. Varsity Blues 8 seed versus 9 seed Longest Yard. Let me explain something to you. Joe, I'm going to stick up for my good buddy Joe because I love him. Okay. Now, I had to do math on 2 of these, and one of them was the 8-9 seed. Now, the 8-9 seed, that's the one you want to have to do the math on. You know you seeded it pretty decent if your 8 and 9 seed are really close. So, Joe did a fantastic job with the 8-9 seed. Oh my gosh, I don't have it, Joe. I have it in a text. Was it 78-75, the votes?
Yeah.
It was 78-75 with the votes for Varsity Blues. So... By the way, I picked the Longest Yard. Joe, who'd you pick?
Varsity Blues.
Okay, Varsity Blues by 3 votes. That's amazing.
I mean,
8,
dude,
9
that's
seed.
like that movie was right when I was in
high school,
freshman, sophomore in high school, playing football. You know what I mean? Like,
totally.
It was pretty.
Right.
That one's pretty easy. And the Longest Yard, I mean, you really didn't specify.
It was 2005.
It might have, and I'll give you credit for that because it was one of those things where I didn't know which one to do. So you said the new one, but I kind of just left it because that kind of gave the old and the new. So I'm surprised. I'm actually, because of that, I'm surprised. Because there are some people that do like or prefer the old one.
The Longest Yard is a good movie. I never saw the old one. I just saw the Adam Sandler version.
It's Burt Reynolds.
I know it's Burt Reynolds. I know who it is. Do you have to say it so odd? All right. Okay, so we went over that one. 5 seed.
Must be Burt Reynolds or something.
It's like he's got a cigar in his mouth or something. 5 seed League of Their Own, 12 seed Waterboy. I love both these movies. I was upset that they matched up together. I had to go with Waterboy though. Adam Sandler. It's just a great movie. What'd you do?
I went with League of Their Own.
Did you really?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's a good movie.
All right.
It's a good movie.
Here we
Tom
go.
Hanks is great in that movie.
A 4 and a 13. Space Jam and White Men Can't Jump. This one almost went into overtime, Joe. And by the way, I do have overtime rules, and I'll explain them in 1 minute. These votes were 71-70 for Space Jam. We had to go through and do the math on Facebook and Twitter to figure it out. So Space Jam wins it by 1 vote. And had it went into overtime, Joe, how we would have done it is I would have given him a 5-minute overtime and put the poll on Twitter for 5 minutes and keep doing it until someone comes victorious. So
see, I'd have said 1-on-1 basketball game between me and you, and then we get to pick winner picks.
Come on, didn't we play Pig here one day?
I doubt it.
We did. We both weren't great. Let's put it
No,
that way.
God.
We both
Shooting is not my forte. Like, my sport was football.
I remember just both of us weren't great. We both were warming up still. Okay. So, who'd you pick? Space Jam or White Men Can't Jump? I had Space Jam.
I picked White Man Can't Jump.
Holy cow, we haven't picked the same one yet. All right. 6 seed Field of Dreams and 11 seed Happy Gilmore. For me, this was way too easy. This matchup just Field of Dreams got obliterated. I picked Happy Gilmore. Who'd you pick? You picked Field of Dreams.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Okay,
No.
You picked Happy Gilmore. Okay.
Yes.
All right. This one here,
Yes.
This is another matchup that I was a little disappointed had to face off against one another. 3 seed Sandlot versus a 14 seed Karate Kid. Karate Kid got smoked, but I picked Karate Kid. Joe, what'd you pick?
Sandlot.
Of course you did. Okay.
Dude, nostalgic movie.
Dude, I know. It's good. 7 seed Caddyshack versus a 10 seed Major League. This is the one that ruffled a bunch of feathers yesterday.
No, dude, I know. It's tough.
And it was close, but it was Caddyshack on both Facebook and Twitter. So
Yeah.
an easy win.
I realized they made a mistake, especially when I look at the next round matchup. But go ahead. That was tough.
Who'd you
without a
pick?
doubt.
I picked Caddyshack. Who'd you pick?
It was Caddyshack and
Major League.
in Major League.
Yeah.
I watched Major League last night, but I'd have to go Caddyshack.
Okay. All right. Okay. The last one of this bracket, 2 seed Rocky 4 versus 15 seed Days of Thunder. Days of Thunder didn't have a chance right from the get-go. Out of the gate was Rocky 4. I picked Days of Thunder. Of course, everybody knows that. Joe, of course, you picked Rocky 4.
Well, I told you I gave you the pity pick.
Oh, you did. That's right. Thank you. See, he loves me. So,
but
that's it.
You blew an engine before the end of the first.
It was not good. It was not good. I even told my wife, I'm like, get on Facebook and vote, will you? Vote for Days of Thunder.
Yeah, you were in the garage before the end of the first segment.
No kidding. So, all right. Well, I thought that was actually as harsh as people were on you, Joe, for that one. I feel like it was good. I feel like it was really good. The only thing, obviously,
I appreciate you.
The only thing, obviously, I have an issue with was the Days of Thunder. But other than that, I think it was pretty good. I just didn't like.
If it was up to you, Days of Thunder would win this thing. Come on.
No, it wouldn't. No, because I got some good sleepers in the. Well, not even be sleepers, but the action adventure in the '90s. I love some of these movies.
I was talking about the sports bracket.
Oh, in the sports bracket. Yeah, it's probably my favorite movie in there.
Because you're a NASCAR fan.
Yeah.
You have to look at the movie at the whole, not just
your
favorite.
Tough.
You know what I mean?
It's tough because you could have had Talladega Nights in there. That was another good NASCAR movie, and I think it probably would beat Days of Thunder head to head.
It probably would have, 100%.
So, and Karate Kid is one of my favorites. That's a nostalgic movie. And Happy Gilmore. Oh gosh, that's probably my favorite one in there. Actually, Happy Gilmore. I love Happy Gilmore.
It's hilarious.
It's so good. It's so good. Caddyshack's good too, man. But I'm gonna stick with what I just said. Or Waterboy. I'd go with Happy Gilmore though. I would. It's really good. So, anyways, all right.
Yeah, it's good.
90s region. If anyone's still listening.
And you haven't even gotten killed. You haven't gotten killed by anybody. That's the whole thing.
So here's
that was the one thing. You knew that it was going to kind of lose tension because it was new. You go a couple days, the voting's kind of slid a little bit. Then so have the comments. No one's even commented on anything. I had to go on there and comment.
Hold on.
Stick up for my damn Braveheart. Number 8 ass trash scene.
Randall on Facebook commented. He said, tough choice. I love these brackets. Keep it up. Oh, well, you're welcome, Randall. Appreciate that.
I appreciate it. Yeah, he told me the same thing at work today. Thanks, Randall.
You work with that guy?
Yeah.
Oh, for real?
He's a Duke fan.
Oh, really?
He lives in Durham. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, good guy. I worked with him for almost
that's
4
cool,
years now.
Because I see him on Facebook all the time.
Oh, yeah. He goes
no
back
kidding.
and forth to the memes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he thinks it's funny.
All right.
So.
Hey, shout out to Randall, man. I've noticed Randall on the Facebook page probably for a couple of years, I want to say.
Nah.
Yeah.
It's not often that you notice a Duke fan on your page.
I never even knew he was a Duke fan. I just assumed he was an SU fan.
Well, because he doesn't come on here and talk trash.
Yeah, well,
right?
Randall, hats off to you, buddy, if he listens.
Seriously,
I don't know if he listens.
He's a stand-up guy.
But if he doesn't listen, Joe, tell him I said that. Seriously.
I will do.
Joe on Facebook says, Braveheart at 8? Come on, man. Oh, wait a second. That's you, Joe.
Yeah, that's what I
you
said.
pathetic.
I just said that.
You pathetic piece. Golly. All right.
I was trying to get people all riled up, and nobody followed me. Unbelievable.
Okay, so that's it for yesterday's. The 90s region is up. The 90s region. I had one in here that I want to admit was awful, and I'm trying to find it.
There's so many good 90s movies you didn't even have Titanic.
Yeah, let's talk about this. I hated Titanic, bro. Honestly, I did not. It was way too long for me.
This poll isn't about you.
Apparently it is, and that's why we're doing fan picks.
Okay.
That's why we're doing fan picks next time. We want to get everybody's input on them. But Boys in the Hood was one of my favorite movies in the 90s. Was that movie is a class? Talk about a classic. That was classic.
Bad Boys
was the original Friday in the 90s.
Yeah, and I missed that on comedy and Dumb and Dumber.
I know.
There's a lot, man. We missed
a bunch. We missed a bunch. We did. If I could do it over again, it would look totally different. But it's still good.
100%.
Pulp Fiction was kind of struggling at first. It's a 2 against a 15. Pulp Fiction against Jurassic Park. I didn't think that was a bad matchup for Pulp Fiction, but apparently a lot of big Jurassic Park fans out there. And there was another one that I didn't like how I matched up either.
You got to be worried when it comes to those. Obviously, if you've learned anything from the brackets, especially comedy, I mean, Pulp Fiction I mean, it's definitely
It's acquired
popular.
taste, and it's acquired taste.
I think Quentin Tarantino's an acquired taste,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely,
So that's
sure.
you got to be, because Pulp Fiction is really like, it's like one of those movies where it's like really, really good to the people that like it and like that kind of stuff. But then there's other people that are like, I can't watch a minute of a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah, like
So-
Did you watch Reservoir Dogs?
Yeah,
Did you like it?
I've seen some of his.
Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir
it's good.
Dogs was.
Oh my
it
gosh,
was-
it was so good. It had a great
I mean,
soundtrack
it
too.
was definitely good, but it's different. You got
What about
it's an
Bell-
acquired taste.
What about Bellhop? Was it Bellhop? The other Quentin Tarantino movie. It's about a bellhop.
About the hotel.
About the hotels. Yeah, yeah.
No, I
Do you
seen
know-
the one with what was it, Brad Pitt?
The new one. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh no, I haven't seen that, but I've heard great things. No, it was the war movie there about oh god,
Oh, you got me, brother. I don't know what you're talking
Nazis, and it was the Nazis and the Jews, and it was
about. Oh gosh, people are yelling at their radios right now or their phones or whatever. Something with goats. Or
Inglorious
something?
Bastards.
Oh yeah, Inglorious Bastards. I said something with goats. Why would I? Why?
No idea.
Okay.
There might be a goat somewhere in that movie, but
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I got that from. Anyway, I'm having fun with it. I hope everybody else is. I did worry about the lack of comments on this bracket, but we're
Still getting the votes.
We're still getting the
And
votes, so I'm not worried.
you
about
have the animations. You have the animations together. Lion
those
King
are
and Toy
close.
Story. I like how you put that together.
it. That was accidental, man. I just seeded them and then I put them in the bracket.
Goodfellas, Fight Club. That's tough.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple tough ones, but
No, I think, and the thing too is even like your 6-11 to me, it's tough. Because again, I think that comes back to acquired taste type of movies. I mean, good movies nonetheless, but I think that whoever wins between Shawshank and Schindler's List is probably going to lose the next round.
yeah, they're both they're similar, not the same, but they're kind of similar movies. And that was just, they were put together by seeding. I didn't look at
4 and 13. Green Mile probably wouldn't even have made my list. It's a good movie,
I know,
but
it's good. It's a little long, but I think it's funny how both the Tom Hanks movies are going head to head in the first round.
right, yeah. Well, Saving Private Ryan was awesome. Again, I still hate the fact that Bad Boys isn't in here somewhere, man.
I know we dropped the ball on a couple. What are you going to do? But we're not going to do that in the next one. So, and we'll get James on. Is James tomorrow? James is tomorrow, I think. Right? Or is Tyler on tomorrow? What did I say?
Tyler, I think you said Tyler's tomorrow, and James.
Okay, so James is, I don't know if he's part of the Noons bracket. The Noons Magician has a beer bracket, and it's funny. Joe and I were going to do a beer bracket, and we said Joe said, actually, he said, "Well, I'll bet you Noons will do a beer bracket." In so many words, he said that. And the next day, they came out with a beer bracket. So they did theirs a little bit more complicated than I would have done mine. So I want to get James on, obviously talk to him about that beer bracket, see if he knows anything about it, because I went to vote on it, and I'm like, here I am thinking I'm like a decently knowledgeable beer guy. And I look at this bracket, and I'm like, oh, crap. These are breweries, and they did a fantastic job with it. Let me tell you, but I have no idea what kind of beer they're pumping out. So anyway, we'll get James on, talk to him about that. We'll get with Tyler tomorrow.
I can't believe you're not getting any blowback from this. I really
You hate
cannot
it
believe
so
this.
bad.
No,
You-
because I'm
you
sitting
hate
here
it.
and I'm looking at your matchups, and there's like 4 movies that no way would make this list.
Okay, Joe.
7?
Okay,
7
Joe.
and a 9?
You know what wouldn't make my list from your comedy region?
Clueless?
From your comedy region? Seriously. Hold on. Your sports region's okay. It's okay. But dodgeball, I mean, it won, and I can't believe it. It only won because it went to get...
Are you going to sit here and are you going to bang on me about the ones that won?
I
when I'm going to sit
no.
here and I'm going to bang on you about the ones that are going to get blown out and shouldn't even have been in your top 16?
No, I'm just saying I wouldn't have put dodgeball in there. I wouldn't have put dodgeball in there.
Meanwhile, dodgeball.
And you know what else I wouldn't have put in there? Naked Gun. I wouldn't have put Naked Gun in there either.
Okay. That's arguable. I get it. I wanted to throw a couple of the older, those type of spoof movies in there. You know what I mean? And that was one of my favorites when I was
Ace
growing
Ventura,
up. So.
I told you to take out, by the way. And
Ace Ventura, it got
smoked.
It was
smoked.
close. It was close.
Ace Ventura, whatever. It sucked. That movie sucked.
Dude, it did
You
not.
could have put Dumb and Dumber in there.
Blown out that
you
bad.
could have put Dumb and Dumber in there.
You're right. I would have.
Okay. You want
I
to keep
would
going?
have remembered. But still, Ace Ventura, they gave up a tough fight. Lost in overtime.
No, they didn't come close.
They're in it until the last 4 minutes.
If we have an overtime game, it's going to be fun. That will be fun. So anyways, all right, look, we're done. We're done for tonight. I want to thank everybody.
I'm done talking to you, man.
I want to thank everybody who's putting up with us in humoring us, and we're going to try to come up with some more stuff to talk about before we got to talk about polls. But we got some guests booked. I got on top of it. I'm on the top of it.
Vote Clueless.
I told you why Clueless is in there, man. My wife. That was a pity pick for my wife. You know, at least my old lady's not helping me seed the brackets.
She wasn't helping me seed. She was just helping me come up with a list.
Okay. Whatever.
Which you obviously needed from the 90s.
Well, I just need some help from you once in a while. This guy just shows up and talks sports with me. I'm doing all the work over here.
And then the next thing you know, I show up, I call you, I got a list of 40 movies, 50 movies, and you're like, I'm done. They're seated. You didn't even ask for my help.
You were taking too long.
It's not about taking too long. If you want a good bracket, then that's what you do. You take the time to make it right, okay?
Yeah, okay. Go back to yesterday and look at all the comments. I know.
It's unbelievable.
I don't know why I'm still arguing with you about this. All right. Call-in show Friday. Blah, 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 blah. Wednesday, Thursday. You know the deal. Look, I want to thank everybody again. Hopefully Joe won't interrupt me this time. We can close the show out. I want to thank Armchair Media LinkedIn. I want to thank Simply Safe. Obviously, all of you. Thanks everybody on the front lines, helping all the medical people on the front lines and everybody else that's working full time and trying to get through this. Hopefully, we can shed some light on it. I don't know. Maybe some fun, some entertainment. We try. So, anyways, thanks to James. Thanks, Joe. Thanks to James on guitar. For Joe, I'm Sean. We're out.
Thanks for listening to the Cuse Militia Podcast, the fan's voice with Sean and Joe.